Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought it would be fun to share with you some interior design ideas that you could do while you're stuck at home. I know a lot of us have some extra time on our hands, so we want to do projects around our house, but don't necessarily want to go out shopping, getting a lot of materials. So the projects that I'm going to share with you, you should have most of the materials in your home. If not, a lot of this stuff you can order online and do the projects when the items ship to you. So the first project is definitely painting that piece in your home that you've been meaning to get around to. So if you have, a big piece of furniture, you've wanted to paint it for years, go ahead and do it now. My hutch that I currently have in my dining room, I painted it last year. I picked it up on Facebook Marketplace for around $75. I fixed a few things on it. I filled the holes, and then I did 2 coats of Waverly white chalk paint on it. Now, if you want to distress your piece, you can always do that or leave it as is. And then to seal it, you just want to wipe on a clear wax and pull off any excess. Give it plenty of time to dry, and this is definitely a great project to do while you're at home. So another thing you could do is create some organizers for your jewelry. This next project is so simple to do, but I get so many comments on it, and it's this earring organizer. I probably originally made this like 2 years ago, but all you need for this is some shelf liner with holes in it and some picture frames that you already have on hand. I know I've been buying a lot of stuff through Walmart grocery pickup, so this is definitely something you could grab at Walmart or on Amazon. And all you want to do is remove the contents from your frame. You're going to measure out your shelf liner, put it into your frame, put the backing on, and that is it. Hang it on your wall, and then you can add in like your dangly earrings in there as well. I'm gonna link below some of the dangly earrings that I talk about all the time because I get a lot of questions on the earrings that I wear. The next idea I have for you is updating an old bench in your home. I actually have 2 benches that I updated this past year. All you need to do is find a bench. You may already have one at your house. And with my white bench, I decided to tape off the seat area because it was a nice wood color. I didn't want to paint it. And I just painted the outside with 2 coats of white paint. Went through, wet distressed it, and let it dry. With my other bench, I only wanted to paint the legs, so I used a gray color. I just painted the legs, but I left the seat intact, and then I came through and I really wet distressed this piece. I wanted it to look super chippy. If you go to my channel, this is the most popular video on my channel, so I definitely wanted to show you guys, and I bet a lot of you have benches like this sitting around your house. So the next thing you can do, if you want to just add a little bit of spring touch to your home, is change out the decorations on your mantle. This is really easy to do. Last year, I used some really simple items that you may have. I used some brass candle holders on either end, which I, for some reason, have a ton of brass candle holders. I don't know why, but you may have some kind of candle holder. These are great on either side of your mantle. On the inside, I just used some terracotta pots. I put some right side up, put them on all different directions, and I just had fun playing with it and making a cute arrangements. And then from there, I just added in greenery. Use what you have on hand and just put it in. And if you want to add some ribbon, you can do that as well. But this is just a quick way to add a little spring touch to your mantle, and you don't have to go shopping for anything. So this next project, anytime I talk about this, you guys say, I cannot find this video where you did this, Liz. And it's when I spackled terracotta pots. I know you probably have these materials on hand. So you need a terracotta pot. If you don't have terracotta, you can definitely use a plastic pot. Any kind of pot would work for this. Next, you're going to need spackling, joint compound, whatever you want to call it. If you have gloves, that's great. It'll just help you because it's kind of messy to put on. So what you want to do is grab a bunch of the spackling in your hand and you're going to put it onto your pot. And then you're just going to smear it around your pot. Now, this is personal preference. You can either completely cover it, you can add just a little bit. I kind of did a mixture of both and I love the way they all look. Now after you smear it around, then what you want to do is you want to come back and pat it. What that's going to do is it's going to pull that up so you kind of get like a nice little stucco look on your pots, and it just looks really cool. Let it completely dry when you're done with that step. And then from there, you can leave it like this, or what I did was I added a little bit of paint just to kind of age it and give it that fun color that you want. I did also add in some letters, but that is a completely optional step as well. These are great sitting in your home. You can put them out on your patio, so many different places, but this was probably one of my favorite summer projects that I did last year. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely have to be in the mood to organize. So this next one, I'm gonna put it out there, but it's not really my mood right now. But if you are on an organizing kick, I suggest organizing your craft room. I know mine gets so messed up. I just have stuff everywhere. And honestly, if I go in and just spend an hour kind of putting things back, organizing it, I really feel a lot better. So that's definitely a project you can do when you have a little bit of extra time, is organize that craft space. Let's say you want to transform a room or a piece of furniture, but you don't really want to paint the entire wall. My suggestion is adding in a stencil. So many different companies carry wall stencils nowadays. I grabbed this floral wall stencil and stenciled my daughter Caroline's room last year at this time. And really, I did one wall and it makes such a statement in there and I love it. This is also a great option if you're a little hesitant about hanging wallpaper. This just gives you another option that's just paint related. So you can pick up a stencil online, and all you're going to do to stencil your wall is tape it up to the wall and then use a variation of paint colors. I think it works better when you don't just use like one pink color for the flowers or one green color. I used a lot of different colors. It's going to make it look so much more realistic. People ask me all the time, like, what wallpaper did I put on this wall? It's not wallpaper, it's definitely paint. So just use like maybe 3 different shades of pink or a couple shades of green and add in some whites and some creams. That's gonna make it look more realistic. And I had a lot of fun stenciling this wall. And it's definitely a project that takes a little bit of time, but it's perfect to do that now. Next thing you can do is set up an inviting space outside. My kids are really playing outside a lot lately. We have a trampoline, so that's a lot of fun. The kids like to go in the backyard and play. They go in the backyard and play with the dog, and it's nice to have a place to sit out together. What I like to do is create a little conversation area. We have a swing that's really nice, and I love sitting out there. Underneath it, I bought a really inexpensive outdoor rug from Walmart last year. I just added in other seating to round out my conversation area. I just love having a little place outside. The kids can go out there. It just kind of extends our living space to the outdoors. Another great idea is changing out your old picture frames. So in my daughter Annabelle's room, she has these really large 6 frames that I got a while back from IKEA. And when we lived at our old house, they had pictures in there from when she was, I think, 4 years old that I had taken. So this last summer, I took all new pictures of her. So we had brand new pictures, but of course, I waited forever to get them in there. This is a great time. Order your prints online, print them out, change out your picture frames. It's a really simple thing to do, but it's one of those things that we forget to do all the time. Staying at home has really made me be extra creative. So I've been looking around my house and thinking, how can I update all those different things in my home? My daughter's had this really old piano bench that I knew that I could update and make a little bit nicer. I painted the entire bench black. On the top, I thought it'd be really cute to update it by adding some sheets of music to the top of the bench. So I just got an old book that we had, pulled out the pages, and then I tea stained them, which kind of gave them that old look. I let that completely dry, and then from there, I just Mod Podged them down on our bench. This was a really easy project to do, and I had all of the materials already in my home. The next project has to do with lighting. If you have old lighting in your home that you're not happy with, maybe you want to change out the existing color, this is the perfect project for you. Now, I didn't already have this piece on hand. I actually bought it at the Restore last year, but I wanted to update the lighting in my dining room. So all you have to do is take off any glass or plastic pieces on your chandelier, clean it up, and then spray paint it in a more modern color. I took this brassy gold color and changed it up to more of a warm antique-y brass color. And then I cleaned it all up. I added in new lighting, and I think it updates this $10 light fixture and makes it look so much better in my home. Look around your home. Maybe you have a light fixture you could spray paint black or change up just a bit, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to go anywhere, but it's going to update your look. I feel so accomplished when I do organizing projects that only take maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. So I will take on a task, like I'll just clean underneath my bathroom sink. That's such a quick project, but I feel so satisfied. So what I like to do is just pull everything out from underneath my cabinet. I go through it, I pitch what I don't want, I reorganize, put like things together, and then you can use bins you have on hand. I'll link below these wire bins that I picked up off of Amazon. They just fit perfectly in my space, but I will just organize things, put it all back, and then I just feel so much better when I'm done with it. So find a 10 to 15 minute organizing project, get that done, and you'll just be happy that you did that project. Next interior design thing you can is update your shelving for the season that we're in. So look around your house. Do you have any shelving areas? I know in my bathroom, I have these 2 shelves that are kind of seasonal, and I do update them according to the season. And I'm just going to pull things that are spring and summerish, and I'm just going to easily decorate this shelf. This takes me maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes to do, but it's a quick way to use the things I already have on hand, and I have a bright, cheery space for spring and summer. Now, I do get a lot of questions saying, Liz, I don't have enough room in my house for a craft room. Well, last year, I don't know if you guys watched my subscriber makeover video that I did. I will link some of these videos down below if you're interested in them. But in this space, I wanted to give them a simple dresser. I had picked it up from the Restore, painted it, and this was going to be what housed the craft supplies. What you first have to do is just get your craft supplies in order. Organize them, put them into categories, and then you can put them into a cabinet or a dresser. If you want to take it a step farther, you could always add on these cute drawer pulls that I got from Amazon. I'll link them below. You just label each of your drawers so you know exactly what what's in there. So maybe you don't have a whole entire craft room, but you can use a small space to organize all of that craft stuff that we all have. The next tip I have is to add curtains to soften your space. In Sarah's home that I redecorated for the subscriber makeover, she had these 3 windows, and I felt like they would really be softened up if we added in some curtains. I suggest going with like a see-through or light colored curtain. It softens and it lightens up the space. I found a curtain rod that went the whole length of the room, and then I just added in my curtain panels. It was really easy to do, and I think overall it makes a big difference in the room. You may have some windows where you could soften up by adding curtains, or if you're wondering what that next step is in your decor, curtains are sometimes things that we overlook. One of the things I did a few months back was get that pantry organized. We are eating at home, we are going through food in the pantry, and if you have it all over the place, it can be a little frustrating. So what I do whenever I organize my pantry is pull everything out, put it into categories, and then I put it in bins back in my pantry. I'll link below the bins that I used and picked up a couple months ago. I did say I wanted to change out to clear bins, and I honestly really do like the clear bins. It's a lot easier to see what's in there, but if you don't want to order anything, you may have some Dollar Tree bins that you could use in your pantry as well. I think the biggest thing is just getting out that expired food and knowing what you have on hand. Look around your house. Do you have an old throw blanket or piece of fabric? Maybe some foam. I had these materials and I used these to recover a bench that I had. When I was shopping around at HomeGoods, I was seeing all these fabric colored benches that were, close to $100, and they were very cute, but I thought that I could recreate the same look at home. So all I did was take a piece of foam that was the length of my bench that I already had, and then I wrapped it with a throw blanket, cut it off, kind of tucked in the edges, hot glued it, and then I used some poster tack just to lightly attach it to my bench. That way, if I ever want to remove it, I can't. This has been working out great. It's held in place and it looks great. This whole video is just to give you a spark, give you an idea of things you have on hand that maybe you could use to create your own projects. Next idea is really simple. Just restyle your coffee table. Some of my tips that I like to use whenever I'm styling my coffee table, I think it's important to have something to corral all of your decor. I like using a tray, a basket, some kinds of books, anything, just to place all the decor in. My other tip is I don't like anything that's too high, especially if you watch TV in this room. You don't want anything, that's gonna obstruct views. So I have a small vase on my coffee table. My other suggestion is using the rule of 3 or 5. So I think 3 items looks great. If you add 5, I think that looks even better. Just play around with your decor and different items you have in your house. Just take everything off your coffee table, find some stuff, even if it's stuff you grab from another room, just change it up and it's just gonna give you a whole new look to your coffee table. Maybe you're changing up your style to be a little bit more farmhouse. Well, this is a great way to make any piece look a lot more farmhouse. A couple of months ago, I grabbed this stool at a thrift store and it was white. It had multiple coats of paint and it really wasn't painted that well. I decided the only thing I was going to do with it was take my electric sander and just sand off all of the paint layers to just get a bunch of different colors, get that natural wood coming through. And when you do this, it looks chippy, it looks distressed, and very farmhouse. So maybe you have a piece of furniture around your house that you're not too much in love with, you think you could make it look more farmhouse, just use your sander, sand the paint off, and that's all you have to do. This next idea you can do to make a set of bowls that you already have look really farmhouse. I have this metal set of bowls that I picked up at Goodwill. You may have something similar in your home. You could even use a set of plastic bowls that you had on hand. All I did was take some white spray paint the bowls. I used my Cricut to cut out the words that I was going to put on the bowls. I simply put them on the bowls, and I think this set looks really cute sitting out on my hutch. I hope this gave you some inspiration to recreate items you have around your house. If you do make a recreation, please post it to our Facebook group. lizfenwickdiy is the name of our group, and let us know that you were inspired by this video. I'd love to see what you come up with. And if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you go do that as well. I'm all the time posting Instagram posts and things that you don't necessarily see on YouTube. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and I'll post our last DIY for you. And I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.